There is a place in America that will hand you $50,000 in cash to move there, not a coupon, not a tax deduction. 50,000 actual dollars, wired to a bank account, tied to a house you get to keep. You have been lied to. Every best places to move list you have ever scrolled through was written by someone selling you a mortgage or a moving truck. The real story is that dozens of American towns are quietly bleeding population, and their local governments are so desperate to reverse it, they are writing personal checks to strangers on the internet. What if the actual cheat code to affording a house in 2026 is not saving harder? What if it is picking the town that pays you to show up? There is one place on this list that mails a check to every resident every year. A program in Appalachia that hands you cash plus free adventure gear worth thousands. And a county in Arkansas so serious about keeping its workforce, they will help build you a house. Half the lists you have seen are stale, programs closed, money dried up. Financial advisors will not mention any of this because there is no commission in it for them. Realtors will not either. Subscribe now because in 3 months, the numbers on this list will change, and you will want the updated version. Let us break it down. Number 12, Vermont. The state capital here is Montpelier, the only state capital in the entire United States that does not have a McDonald's. 8,000 people, a Vermont cheese shop, and 0 golden arches. If you want the whole personality of this state in one fact, that is it. Vermont used to be a legend on lists like this one. The Remote Worker Grant Program paid up to $7,500, funded by Act 183 back in 2022. Here's the catch. The state's own website now says, in plain English, that the program is no longer accepting applications. The money ran out. It has been replaced with something called GROW, which funds organizations doing recruitment, not individuals doing moving. Cost of living statewide runs about 14% above the national mean. Typical home value sits around $400,000. Every other channel is still promising you the $7,500. If you moved for the cash, you would be moving for cash that no longer exists. Which brings us to number 11, another town everyone still says is paying. Number 11, Northwest Arkansas. Bentonville is home to Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, which is the only major American art museum where you can view a Norman Rockwell, then walk outside and see a Walmart heiress just casually existing in her natural habitat. This region, Bentonville, Fayetteville, Rogers, and Springdale, used to run a program called LifeWorks here. $10,000 cash plus your choice of a street bike or a mountain bike, because the region has decided it is the mountain biking capital of the world, and it is going to keep saying that until enough of us believe it. The asterisk is enormous. The Northwest Arkansas Council's own website confirms the application process has ended. They received over 66,000 applications and made exactly 100 awards. The good news is Bentonville itself is still absurdly cool for a small city in Arkansas. Home values in the upper 300s, cost of living a few percent below the national average. Walmart money has built infrastructure that looks nothing like what your uncle from Ohio thinks Arkansas is. Comment your best guess. Does Northwest Arkansas ever reopen this program? Number 10 is coming up, and it is not even a program. It is a state that pays every resident an annual check just for staying put. Number 10, Alaska. The official state sport here is dog mushing. Not football, not basketball. Dogs, pulling a sled. This is also the state that grows over 100-pound cabbages, because when you give a plant 19 hours of daylight, it stops asking questions and starts photosynthesizing like it has something to prove. You do not have to move to a specific town. You just have to move to the state. Alaska pays every legal resident an annual check called the Permanent Fund Dividend, funded by oil revenue. In 2025, the check was $1,000 per person. For 2026, the legislature approved another $1,000 plus a $200 energy relief payment. A family of 4 gets $4,800 in checks. For existing, that is the entire job. Requirements are simple. Live in Alaska a full calendar year. No felonies, no leaving for more than 180 days. And there is no state income tax and no state sales tax. Picture this. It is a Tuesday in October. You are on your porch in Anchorage. The northern lights are showing off like they know they are being watched. Your huskies are outside. Your dividend just hit the bank. Your cabbage is winning the county fair. The catch is that groceries in Anchorage cost about 20% more than the national average. And winter is not a season, it is a personality trait. Which brings us to number 9, and it involves Mark Twain, 1,000 historic buildings, and a very specific amount of Deep South humidity. Number 9, Natchez, Mississippi. Pronounced Natchez, not Natchez, because saying it wrong is the fastest way to get outed as a tourist. This town has more than 1,000 buildings on the National Register of Historic Places. More historic architecture per square mile than most European capitals. In 2008, it declared itself the biscuit capital of the world and dared anyone to challenge it. Mark Twain used to drink at the Under the Hill Saloon on the riverfront. That bar is still open. The program is called Shift South. If you buy a home worth at least $150,000, they pay you $2,500 up front. then $300 every month for the next 12 months. Total, $6,000. Median home value in town is around $115,000. So the program's minimum lands you in the nicer part of town. Cost of living runs about 28% below the national average. Now, about Deep South summer. The humidity does not roll in. It moves in, unpacks, and starts using your ceiling fan without asking. Your glasses fog when you open the front door. Your shirt has opinions about you by 10 in the morning. But your rent is nothing. Your biscuits are historic, and your neighbors call you sir. Like this video, if you have ever eaten a biscuit so good it made you consider relocating. Coming up at number 8, one of the shortest walks in America between the state of Arkansas and world-class Memphis barbecue. Number 8, West Memphis, Arkansas. This town sits at the western foot of the Big River Crossing, the longest pedestrian bridge across the Mississippi River in the country. You can walk from Arkansas to Tennessee on it, which sounds like the setup to a bad country song, but is actually a very pretty morning workout. The program pays $10,000 if you buy a home, or $5,000 if you rent, through a platform called Make My Move. You have to be at least 18, hold an associate degree or higher, earn at least $80,000 a year, and work remotely for an employer outside Arkansas. Population is about 23,500. Cost of living runs about 23% below the national average. Median home value is around $120,000. Here is the honest trade-off. This town is not pretending to be Nashville. It has crime problems. It has vacancy problems. The mayor said out loud that the program is designed to turn renters into homeowners because the town has been losing stability for decades. But you are also 15 minutes from Beale Street and 2 blocks from Southern Barbecue that would cost $32 a plate in Brooklyn. Here it is 9. Would you take 10 grand and a fixer-upper 5 minutes from the best ribs in America? Drop it in the comments. Coming up at number 7, NASCAR. Number 7, Newton, Iowa. This town was the world headquarters of Maytag appliances for 110 years, until Whirlpool bought Maytag in 2007 and shut the plant down. Newton went from washing machine capital of America to a 15,000-person question mark overnight. What Newton did next is why it made this list. They built the Iowa Speedway, a NASCAR-sanctioned oval that hosts IndyCar races. They cleaned up their downtown, and they started paying people to build houses. The housing initiative pays a $10,000 cash incentive at closing if you build a new home worth at least $240,000, not counting the land. Plus a get-to-know Newton welcome package worth over $2,500, coupons, memberships, and probably a hat you will actually wear. The wrinkle is that this is a new construction program. Buying an existing house does not qualify. You have to sign a construction contract and go through 18 months of drywall dust and small decisions about outlet placement that you will care about way more than you expected. Median home price runs $140,000 to $200,000. Cost of living index sits around 78. Iowa's polite way of saying it is very affordable. State income tax is a flat 3.8%. Coming up at number 6, a co-working space, a wellness stipend, and a 76-foot tall statue. Number 6, Tulsa, Oklahoma. This city has the Bob Dylan Center. It has the Woody Guthrie Center. It has a 76-foot tall statue called the Golden Driller, which is a giant oil worker holding onto a real derrick. Tulsa has never tried to be subtle about who Tulsa is, and that is the whole appeal. It also holds one of the finest concentrations of Art Deco architecture in the country because Tulsa got extremely rich during the oil boom of the 1920s and spent all of it on beautiful buildings instead of a football stadium. Tulsa Remote is one of the longest-running relocation programs in America. $10,000 if you move here as a remote worker, paid across your first year, or as a lump sum if you buy a home. You also get 36 months of free co-working at a space called Gradient, a $200 per month wellness stipend, and a remote work certification developed with New York University. Almost 4,000 people have relocated through the program, generating $878 million in employment income for the city. Cost of living runs about 10% below the national average. Median rent is around $860. The kicker is that acceptance is brutal. Only about 3% of applicants make it in. Coming up at number 5, a state capital that pays you 15 grand and a wind that develops opinions about your car. Number 5, Topeka, Kansas, pronounced Topeka. This is where Brown versus Board of Education originated in 1954, and the original Monroe Elementary School is now a National Historic Site. It is also home to the Evel Knievel Museum, which is exactly what it sounds like. A museum dedicated to a man who spent his entire life crashing motorcycles into things for money. Choose Topeka pays up to $15,000 if you buy a home, or up to $10,000 if you rent, in Shawnee County. Here's the twist. The money is employer matched. The employer puts up half, and the local development agency reimburses the other half. Remote workers get a separate track, $5,000 for renters, $10,000 for homebuyers, with a 3-month waiting period. More than 500 people have already taken the deal. Population sits at about 126,000. Cost of living runs about 14% below the national average. Median home value is around $190,000. Here is where Kansas tests your patience. The wind is a lifestyle. Tornado season is not decorative. It is a real event you will plan your calendar around. Summers are hot enough to make you consider theological questions. Winters are cold enough to make you consider therapy. But you can buy a house here for less than the cost of a nice used SUV in Los Angeles. Like this video if you would trade 3 months of tornado watches for a paid-off mortgage. Coming up next, a suburb of Indianapolis nobody expected to be on this list. Number 4. Noblesville, Indiana, pronounced now Boltsville, not Noblesville like a fantasy novel. This town is home to Roff Music Center, spelled R-U-O-F-F, pronounced roof, the largest outdoor amphitheater in the state. Every summer, this town of 70,000 hosts concerts loud enough to be heard in 3 counties. The historic downtown square is anchored by a Victorian-era courthouse that looks like a movie set. The program is called Welcome Home to Noblesville, advertised as up to $15,000 in total value. That breaks down to $5,000 in cash, a $500 wellness stipend, a year of co-working at Cohatch, and passes to city parks, golf, and pools. Requirements: work full-time remotely, or be self-employed, earn at least $80,000 a year, be a United States citizen, live outside Indiana, and relocate within 6 months. The mayor confirmed the program is being renewed for 2026, and it holds a 91% retention rate over the past 2 years. Roughly 250 new residents have moved in, with a projected economic impact of over $40 million in the first 5 years. Cost of living is right around the national average. Median home sale price is roughly $400,000, the most expensive still active entry on this list. Median rent is about $1,250. Indiana has a flat 3% state income tax. Comment below if you would relocate for a summer of concerts and a $15,000 welcome package. Coming up at number 3, an American city with the biggest stackable cash grants on this list. Number 3, Baltimore, Maryland. This city is the birthplace of the Star-Spangled Banner. Francis Scott Key wrote it on a boat watching Fort McHenry get shelled by the British in 1814. Baltimore also built the first monument to George Washington in America, before Washington, D.C. did. And it houses the American Visionary Art Museum, which is entirely devoted to outsider artists and includes a giant model of the Titanic made from over 100,000 toothpicks. Baltimore's Buy Back the Block program relaunched in October 2025 with fresh funding. $15,000 toward a home purchase, or $20,000 if you buy a home that needs renovation. 2 other programs, Buying into Baltimore and Vacants to Value, can stack for another $5,000 to $10,000. One recent recipient combined them to a total of $22,000 in grants. The twist is that Buy Back the Block is designed as an anti-displacement program. It targets existing residents or renters who have lived in a grant-eligible area for at least 12 months. This is not a lure for out-of-towners. It is a lifeline for people already here. Median home price is around $245,000. Median rent is around $1,290. Picture this. It is a Saturday morning in the Hampton neighborhood. You are walking to a coffee shop that used to be a hardware store. There is a mural of John Waters on the wall because this is Baltimore, and John Waters is basically a civic monument. You bought your row house for $200,000. The city helped pay for the new roof. Baltimore has a crime reputation and a property tax problem, but it has the highest cash grants on this list for people who already live in the city. If that is you, subscribe now, because I am doing a full breakdown of Baltimore neighborhoods next month. Coming up at number 2, a state that will hand you cash, free outdoor gear, and a mountain range for a backyard. Number 2, West Virginia, Ascend, the state's flagship program. This is the almost heaven from John Denver's 1971 hit Take Me Home, Country Roads. Every October, hundreds of base jumpers legally leap off the New River Gorge Bridge during an event called Bridge Day. It is the only day of the year in America when you can legally throw yourself off a functioning highway bridge. And the state treats it like a holiday. The program pays you $12,000 in cash, delivered in equal monthly installments over 2 years, or as a lump sum if you buy a home. On top of that, they include more than $8,000 in additional value, 2 years of free outdoor recreation passes, gear rentals, a country roads welcome trip, and free co-working. Total package, over $20,000. Ascend was seeded by a $25 million gift from Brad Smith, former CEO of Intuit and current president of Marshall University, to West Virginia University's Outdoor Economic Development Collaborative, which launched the program. As of September 2025, Charleston became the 6th participating community, joining Morgantown, Shepherdstown, Lewisburg, Elkins, and the New River Gorge. The retention rate is above 96%. Nearly 65,000 people have applied, and as of the fourth quarter 2025 report, 618 have officially joined. Average member income is above $97,000 a year. Morgantown's cost of living runs about 8% below the national average. Median home value is around $220,000. Picture this, it is October in the New River Gorge. The trees are on fire in every color you have never seen east of the Rockies. You are on a porch. There is coffee. Below you, someone in a wingsuit is falling toward the river on purpose, and everyone is cheering. Your paycheck is from a tech company in Boston. Your rent is 1/3 of what your friends still pay in the city. The trade-off is a 2-year commitment, and you are living rural. But at 20 grand of value and a 96% retention rate, Ascend is the closest thing to a slam dunk on this entire list. Which brings us to number 1. Number 1, Mississippi County, Arkansas. Blytheville, pronounced Blytheville, sits inside the top steel-producing county in the entire United States. More steel is made here than in most industrial cities you have ever heard of. Blytheville also has a historic Greyhound bus station built in 1937 in full Art Deco style. The kind of building that would be a boutique hotel in Brooklyn. Here, it is still a bus station. The program here is called Work Here, Live Here, and this is where the $50,000 promise on the thumbnail becomes real. You get up to 10% of the home value if you build new, capped at $50,000. Or up to 5% if you buy existing, capped at $25,000. 15 employers currently sponsor it, including Big River Steelworks and Highbar Steel. If you take a qualifying manufacturing job with one of them and stay in that job at least 4 years, they hand you the incentive as a forgivable loan. As of just weeks ago, the program had closed on more than 230 homes, closing in on its 250th, timed to the country's 250th birthday this fall. The catch is significant. This is not a remote work program. You need to hold a local manufacturing job. It is designed as workforce retention. If you are a software engineer working from your couch in pajamas, this one is not for you. If you are willing to work in one of the most modern steel mills in North America, where workers average close to 6 figures, this may be one of the best housing deals in the country. Cost of living runs well below the national average. Arkansas income tax tops out around 3.9%. The county has a poverty rate more than double the national average, which is exactly why this program exists. They are not being generous. They are being strategic. Picture this. You are in a small ranch house you did not fully pay for. It is October. Your mortgage was knocked down by $50,000 the day you closed. Your job is at a mill that pays coastal wages in a place with Arkansas prices. Your grocery store is a Kroger, and your neighbor has invited you over for smoked ribs because that is what neighbors do here. This is not a fantasy town. It is a working town, but the check is real. $50,000 is a bigger down payment than most Americans will save in a decade. Here's the reframe. Affording a home in America in 2026 is not a math problem. It is a geography problem. There are dozens of places quietly writing checks to strangers, and the people who cash them are not luckier than you. They just paid attention. Like this video if this was the first time anyone actually told you which programs are still active in 2026, versus the ones every other channel is still recycling from 2023. Subscribe, because I update this list every quarter. Programs close, new ones open, amounts change. You want the working version. And share this video with the one friend who has been complaining about rent for 3 years and refuses to move. Send it directly. Do not just post it. They need the confrontation. Stay smart, stay subscribed, and whatever you do, stop paying big city rent for a life you do not even like.